What's good, YouTube? Back up here at this little creek. It's not like anything new, but we're going to be fishing with some semi-vintage stuff. Like, not really vintage, but a couple of videos that I uploaded using some older gear y'all seem to like pretty well. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to pull this stuff out of the closet and make some fresh videos with it. So I'll show you throughout the video what we're using. So I'm going to get rigged up. I already got my fake shade rigged up because it's hotter than the backside of Satan's nutsack today. It's also super humid because it just stopped raining. So anyway, got a tub of night crawlers left over from the last time we went out, and that's pretty much all we're going to use. Unless we can catch something small enough for bait, then that's where one piece of this vintage gear is going to come into play. So let's get rigged up and start fishing. All right, we're baited up. Let's check the drag on this reel because I'm not used to it at all. But this is a just cheap little Zebco 202 you can get at Walmart for just a couple of dollars. And the rod is a Zebco hot cast. I think these things are like $6 at Walmart. And I've got it spooled with some 6-pound Mr. Crappie. Wow, that feels weird having just one handle. And a super short rod. But we're just doing a little split shot above a hook deal. Let's see what wants to bite. Went ahead and recasted it there. I just didn't really like where that first cast ended up at, but I 100% would not be surprised if we had a jet ski visitor sometime today, because it is really nice outside and I can hear boat activity way down this creek. I don't know if y'all heard that, but there was a couple of little fawns bleating. And there goes mama deer right behind them. Two little fawns come hauling butt across the road behind where I'm parked at. And there goes mama. It's not the first time I've seen deer back here where I park at. If I had my cast net with me, I could get me a bunch of little shad. I don't know if it's a like shad fry or bass fry or something, but there's a little school of something swimming right off the bank down here. Itty bitty little stuff, but hey, bait's bait. Now I employed my trick of not paying attention to my rod and got a bite. Oh, dang. Jerked it away from it, I think. Are you serious? Well, I didn't. And guess what? You're going to be bait. Bent the crap out of my hook, but hey, we got it out. Alright. The rod we're going to use as a catfish rod is a, I'm guessing, pretty old. I don't know when it was made, but we're going to say it's the vintage piece. This is a old cork handle Bass Pro Shops Tournament Series pitch and stick. It's a 6'6" medium casting rod, 3/8 ounce to 3/4 ounce, 8 to 17 pound line. And the reel on it is a Zebco 33 Max. I don't know what pound test line was on it when I pulled it out of the closet this morning, so I re-spooled it with some 20 pound, just some cheap Eagle Claw stuff. And we're doing just a simple little knocker rig type thing. Didn't have any decent sized egg sinkers that I could find, so we're just going to use a 1/2 ounce bank sinker. And a, I think, size 1 or size 2, actually a wacky rig hook. And the thing with some of these newer Zebcos, I don't know exactly which all models they have or if any of the old ones had it, but this one has a bite alert switch on it. You engage it and it just lets line come out. Kind of like a bait runner or bait clicker or something like that on some bait runner style reels. And I guess I could get my other rod holder and put it out too. Well, that was pretty quick. I set it down and just like a minute later got a bite. He's still there. Something's playing with it. a little bit nicer than the first little bluegill we got. Of course, this rod is a medium light, so. And of course, the one fish I couldn't get away from, and he choked the dog crap out of it. Fish, if you know what's good for you, you'll stop squirming. Because if you fin me, it's going to be even worse. I had just turned my camera off and got bit. What do we got? It ain't big, whatever it is. But it's what these hooks were actually designed for. I did kind of hook him in the eye though. That rhymed unintentionally. Tiny little bluegill, tiny little circle hook. We need some more worm on there because that one chewed most of it off. Well, this creek has certainly proved to be better than it has been the last few times we've been up here. I think the last time we fished this was maybe a week ago, something like that. It irritates the crap out of me when the reel doesn't want to sit on top, but then again, you know, balancing and all that stuff. So I guess I'll just have to deal with it and employ my tactic of not paying attention to my rod and scroll Instagram. Go figure. I sit on Facebook moderating one of the fishing groups I'm in. And like usual, not paying attention to my rod, and I get a bite. Dang it. Yanked it away from his face. Well, something finally picked it up again, but I think it's got into a snag down there because the line went tight and stayed tight. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Okay, that's nowhere near. Okay, what's the deal here? Because I casted this way over there. Hey, there we go. It's loose. What it is, what it is. Ah! It's our buddy old pal the drum, and as long as he had that without me knowing it, actually no, I might be able to get it. Where are you at? In the top of the mouth, I can get that. As long as you don't do like the one from last week and somehow manage to get it farther down without me knowing it. There we go. Fun size drum, that right there, you can get a couple of sandwiches off of that one. Let's get you back. Try to do it again. Ain't no telling how long that one had it, because I mean he drug it way down. It ain't a super spectacular afternoon, but we caught fish, that's all that matters. Came out with the intent of using some gear that I don't really use that much anymore, and there's a gar that I'd like to catch. And we caught some fish. I also kind of figured that drum was a turtle because I nibbled on it for a while. It would move it, nibbled on it, and move it, and so on. But I haven't seen many turtles back here. I mean, I've seen a few here and there this summer, but very, very few compared to what we'd normally see. But yeah, I fish a lot more places than what y'all think. Like, I keep coming back to this spot because I know the chances. I go to places that I'm not familiar with and don't know the chances of catching fish and all that, and end up scrapping the footage because I don't know the fish habits back there or at that place or what have you. At least here I kind of know the chances of catching fish. Never so often I'll get lucky and hook into a good one. But yeah, there is a lot of footage that y'all don't see because I end up scrapping it. It's just nothing in it that I can use. And you know, if I'm being honest, if they made these Zebco 202s, 33s and stuff just a little bit lower profile, you know, the same build, like they do have the 33 micro or mini or something like that, which is the ultralight reel. But if they made them just a little bit more ergonomic and have a higher gear ratio, I think Spincast reels will be a much more popular reel in today's fishing industry than they actually are. Like, there's still a massive amount of people that still use them. Like, I'll use these every so often just because, you know, it's fun doing something a little bit different. Especially if you hook into something big, you know, you're not used to that drag system or gear ratio and how they handle and all that. It really tests you a little bit. But, yeah, if they were a little bit more ergonomic and had at least smoother drag and higher gear ratio, the way they, you know, reel them a little bit faster, I think they would be a lot more popular than they actually are in today's industry. Hey, that one's definitely on. Not a big one, but he's trying to be, and he came off. Darn it. I should have put this on a little bit lighter rod though. This is a little bit stiff. Like medium light, that is definitely a bit much for panfish. But, you know, back in the day, that's what people used for, you know, bluegill and perch and crappie and stuff like that. Medium power rods. Heck, even medium heavy in some cases. Got you, I think. Nope. Did I? Yeah. Hey, you're tiny, but you're something we ain't caught in a while. Kind of glad to see you around. I'll deal with that later. Teeny tiny little warmouth. I ain't caught one of these suckers in a hot minute. Usually catch quite a few of them during the fall and winter, but here lately I ain't seen many of them. And you got a pudge on you, so you've been eating good. Let's get you back. You know, part of this same creek definitely puts out some Magnum warmouth, and one of these days I'm gonna try warmouth, see how much different it is from anything else, if different at all. Because if I'm being completely honest, like I've had bluegill, drum, walleye, crappie, you know, most of what everybody has fried at some point. And with the exception of walleye being a little bit less tender and more flavorful, I can't really tell a difference between most fish as far as the flavor goes. Well, it doesn't seem like anything wants to cut bait, so we're going to take this broom handle and go ahead and reel it in. Now this rod is, for real, being such an older rod, like I don't know how long this thing's been. Like, I don't know when this rod was produced, but it don't feel bad. I mean, my battery died and interruptified me, but yeah, the cork on this rod is definitely not in the greatest shape, but it's not in terrible shape. But anyway, we're going to take this one out and start getting stuff together and getting ready to call her quits. It's because the bites definitely died off compared to the hot mess that it was. And yet again, I'm blaming the amount of fish that we didn't catch on this thing here. Every time that I've actually brought it down to where I'm fishing here lately, I haven't caught hardly any fish, so net's fault. Go figure. I'll be looking at my phone, get a bite, put my phone down, fish stops biting, pick up my phone again, start getting a bite. Stay on. But if we can get you in, you're going to be the last one of the day. Got a nice little spurt of energy there. Hey, you are a little readier. I ain't caught one of you in a hot minute. You can see the hook point is right there. There we go. You just had it down your gullet. I caught the fish by that, not the hook. I caught the fish by that, not the hook. So that was kind of a crazy catch, but hey, it is what it is. Thank you, good sir, for biting and being one of the first times I've caught a red ear in a hot minute. But anyway, fun little setup, super cheap. I think there's maybe 15 bucks in this. Heck, that'd actually make a decent little BFS rod. Not gonna lie about that, I may have to do that. But one thing that I do really like about this Zebco 202, you can get at Wally World or wherever, is this little spot right here. Hopefully y'all can see that. Hook keeper. That is freaking handy. So anyway, I'm gonna get all this stuff packed up, put it back up in the vehicle, and we'll see here just shortly. Well, y'all, that was kind of fun. I ain't used Zebcos hardly at all, if at all, this year. I've uploaded a couple of videos from past years using them, and y'all seem to like those. But yeah, if you've never used one, they're definitely different. If you're used to bait casters and spinning reels, there's really no need to go back to them. But if you liked, you know, using different gear, they're still plenty viable. Spin cast reels like Zebcos and such are still very viable in the 2025 market. You know, there's a lot of brands making them now that are making them a lot better than they were made years before. They're a lot higher quality, a lot smoother, you know, just across the board, a lot higher quality than what they used to be. But they're still fun, they're still viable, and they still catch big fish. I'm glad I've got a good stockpile of them in the closet that I can pull out every so often and just mess with. But yeah, there's a ton of brands that make them. Anyway, if you liked the video and want to check out some of the equipment used in the video today, there'll be links in the video description. Anytime you buy something through those links, it'll help me out because it's affiliate links. So again, hope you like the video. We'll see you in the next one.